When asked about the Argentinian golden boy of football, your answer will likely be determined by the generation in which you were born. For people born in the 21st century, a certain Lionel Messi is likely to come in mind before anyone else, and understandably so. He is one of the best players the game has seen. However, before Messi, there was another Argentinian golden boy from the previous century, the first, in fact, to officially lay claim to the nickname Golden Boy. His name was Diego Armando Maradona. Diego Maradona was pretty much what Pelé was to Brazil. Born on October 30th, 1960, he is widely viewed as one of the greatest footballers to ever grace the game, and his rewards, honours and trophies go some way to back up this fact. The legend of Maradona in his home country has extended far beyond sporting achievements. He's almost a mini god in Argentina, and this is all due in no small part to what he achieved as a footballer. You'd be forgiven for assuming that, like Messi, Maradona was mainly a goal-scoring forward. While that may have been true for his earlier years in the game, a quick look at his numbers as the years progressed will paint a slightly different picture. Undoubtedly, he was a very good finisher, and he scored a more than respectable number of goals. However, Maradona was more of a playmaker than anything else. He was best known for his excellent ball control, technique, vision, dribbling ability, and acceleration. He excelled in tight spaces, drawing defenders to him and managing to wriggle out of the knot with excellent skill and pace. His small physique, combined with his low centre of gravity, also gave him excellent balance, which helped him hold on to the ball in the face of strong physical challenges from defenders. In fact, he was popular for going on mazy runs that took him past multiple defenders trying to get a tackle in or shove him off the ball. For a man of his small physical stature, Maradona was also quite vocal and one of the strongest leaders in the dressing room. This was a fact that was confirmed by many of his teammates and coaches alike. One of his teammates, Gabriel Batistuta, went as far as saying that Maradona could command a stadium. As the fourth child from a financially humble home, the stage was hardly set for Maradona to excel in football. He had no connections or money to chase a career at the start, and he could very easily have gone into a different career path if not for a few events that just clicked into place. When he was 3, Maradona received a football from a cousin as a birthday present. This present pretty much changed the course of his life, as he became inseparable from the ball from that day. 5 years later, he was going for trials at his local club, Argentinos Juniors. The trials went extremely well. It was obvious how gifted the 8-year-old was with the ball. Even before he broke into the senior team, he was already in the eye of the media for his half-time displays of tricks on the pitch at Argentinos home games. In 1976, 10 days before turning 16, Maradona became the youngest player in the history of the Argentine Premier Division with his debut for Argentinos Juniors. A few months after his senior club debut, the youngster also made his debut for the national team in a game against Hungary. He narrowly missed out on getting called up for the World Cup squad of 1978, and it must have been devastating as Argentina went on to win the trophy. He made 167 appearances for Argentinos in 5 years, scoring 115 goals before earning a $4 million move to one of his dream clubs, Boca Juniors. He went on to play in Europe for the larger part of his career, signing for FC Barcelona and then joining Napoli, where he retired as a club legend. The year 1986 was arguably the most significant of Diego Maradona's career, at least in terms of honours won. He was successful at club and international levels, and he also picked up major individual honours. Let's start with the national team. The FIFA World Cup of 1986 was Maradona's second World Cup appearance. His first was the 1982 World Cup, around the time he'd just signed for the Spanish club side Barcelona. It was largely a forgettable journey for the diminutive forward, although he managed to score twice in 5 games. He was violently fouled throughout the competition, and this played a part in the manner by which his tournament came to an end. In a match against Brazil, Argentina was 3-0 down and Maradona let his temper get the best of him with a retaliatory foul against Batistuta. Fast forward to the next World Cup in 1986, and things went completely differently for the South Americans and for Maradona. At the time, he was the captain of the team, and he led by example as he consistently provided match-winning displays as Argentina romped to the finals, winning the World Cup for the second time in their history. Maradona's first goal of the tournament came in the second group stage against Italy. He went on to score 2 more goals against England in the quarter-finals. One of them remains one of the most controversial goals in football history to this day, and the other was voted by FIFA as the greatest goal in the history of the World Cup. The first goal was what became known as the Hand of God. Replays of the goal show that Maradona had hit the ball with his hand and not his head as it flew into the net. It took 19 years for him to fully admit that he knew the goal was illegitimate and that he'd used his hand on purpose as the ball was going out of his reach. Regardless, Argentina qualified for the semi-finals, and Maradona scored 2 more goals past Belgium to set up a final against one of the strongest national teams at the time, West Germany. The game was played at the Azteca Stadium with over 115,000 fans in attendance, and West Germany came with an interesting game plan. They attempted to reduce Maradona's influence on the game by setting 2 players to double mark him at all times. However, Maradona still managed to escape the attention of Lothar Matthäus to grab the assist for Jorge Burruchaga's winning goal. Argentina won the game 3-2. The Golden Boy played every minute of every game in that World Cup, finishing with 5 goals and 5 assists. He pretty much carried the team to the title, contributing 71% of their total 14 goals. Unsurprisingly, he won the Golden Ball award, given for the best player in the tournament. The year that Maradona won the World Cup was also a successful one for his club at the time, Napoli. They won the domestic double, the Serie A, and the Italian Cup, and once again, Maradona was at the centre of it all. He was the only foreigner on the team at the time, and he made it count, scoring 17 goals across 41 appearances for Napoli that season. Considering the fact that he played most of those games in attacking midfield, 17 is an impressive number. It was also Napoli's first ever Serie A title, and that fact pretty much sealed Maradona's legend status at the club. In Maradona's time, only European players were eligible to win the Ballon d'Or. This means that technically, the winner of the 1986 Ballon d'Or was Igor Belanov of the Soviet Union. However, that rule was changed in 1995, and non-European players became eligible. In light of this fact, France Football published a 2016 review of the awards received before 1995. The review showed that Diego Maradona would have won the 1986 Ballon d'Or if he had been eligible. Just thought it would be fair to point that out. It would be a bit strange if a player of Maradona's caliber never won an award supposedly given to the best player in the world, don't you think? Throughout his club career, Maradona picked up quite a few trophies. He was the one-time winner of the Argentine Primera Division. He was the one-time winner of the Copa del Rey, the Copa de la Liga, and the Supercopa de España. He twice won the Serie A, once won the Coppa Italia and the Supercoppa Italiana, and once winner of the UEFA Cup. On an individual level, Maradona also won a lot of awards, too many to list exhaustively. The 2 Ballon d'Ors for 1986 and 1990 are perhaps the most significant, but he's had a lot of recognition in other quarters too. For instance, a year after he'd narrowly missed out on the World Cup squad for the senior team, he won the Golden Ball at the FIFA World Youth Championship in 1979. When he did start playing regularly for the senior team, he won the Argentine Football Writers' Footballer of the Year 4 times. FIFA is definitely one of his biggest fans though. They've given him a few of the highest honours that any footballer can hope for. Player of the Century, the Goal of the Century, Top 100 Greatest Living Players, the World Team of the 20th Century, and the World Cup Dream Team, to mention a few. Add all of that to the fact that he's an Italian Football Hall of Famer, and it's safe to assume that Maradona had a separate room in his house for all those medals and plaques. There will always be controversial discussions about who the greatest footballer of all time is, and there will always be comparisons with players that have a similar style to the original Golden Boy. However, Away from all that, one thing is certain. There will never be another Diego Maradona.